All right, and welcome everybody. I'm so excited today because today I have with me Caitlin Millen. Now, my name is Stephanie Kesson from the Online Itinerant. Caitlin Millen is a consultant who works with teachers of the deaf and hard of hearing. Caitlin, tell us about yourself and what you do.
Sure. Hi, Stephanie, and hi, everyone. I'm Caitlin Millen, and I've been working in the field of deaf education for about 18 years now. I worked in a variety of settings, from schools for the deaf to mainstream settings, using a variety of communication modes, including ASL and listening and spoken language, and recently finished a PhD in special education focused on students who are deaf and hard of hearing and self-determination. And I worked as a teacher of the deaf, and most recently was directing deaf and hard of hearing services across the state of Maine for students ages 3 to 22. So now I am consulting with teachers working on IEP writing. So specifically looking at IEP compliance, making sure that IEPs are legally compliant and also data driven. So that's actually what we'll be talking about.
And that's what I love because you are in the field, you have been in the field, you've got the whole gamut of experience. You're familiar with our kids that sign, with our kids that use listening and spoken language. You've been up on the supervising area. You've been a teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing. I mean, you really kind of get what we deal with in the field, and you get all the areas of that. So tell us, and I'm this was super exciting to me that this is your niche and working with goals and IEPs and all of that, because I get that a lot. I get teachers constantly saying, how do we write good goals? How do we collect data on our goals, especially for our kids whose goals are self-advocacy? How do we do this? Is that the type of thing that you support people with? And if so, tell us how you do that. What does this look like?
Yes, exactly. So in my consulting business, and also during this session that we'll be offering coming up in September, we'll be talking about how to write data-driven IEP goals, and also how to collect data in an objective way and in a way that's not such a burden. I really frequently hear from teachers that they want to collect data, but they kind of struggle with doing it in the moment with students when they're in those sessions. So we'll talk about strategies for how you can do that during the sessions in a way that's really manageable, and it will allow you to have more specific information that you can share out.
I love that. I love that. So I'm hearing you can collect data in self-advocacy goals, right? It's
Yes.
possible.
Yeah, so self-advocacy is one of those skills that can be challenging for data collection, but there are some really great tools out there. So for example, there are some checklists and assessments. So rather than saying, oh, he's demonstrating his self-advocacy skills about 80% of the time, and talking about an estimate, we can actually have a measure of self-advocacy that we're using. So we can say, okay, based on this particular checklist, this student is demonstrating these particular self-advocacy skills, 13 out of 25 of these skills. These are his strengths in this area. These are his needs in this area. So we'll dig into that a little bit more and how you can do that.
I love it. I love it. So for all of you who have asked me, please provide a training on how to write goals and how to collect data and how to do that and how to be IEP compliant. Guess what? We are, and we've got Caitlin who's going to be able to present that to us. So you do not want to miss it. Thank you, Caitlin. We will see you in the training soon.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.